In the dark, no one can hear you scream. I'm not afraid of werewolves, or vampires, or haunted hotels. I'm afraid of what real human beings to do other real human beings. Monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside us, and sometimes they win. The scariest monsters are the ones that lurk within our souls. The only thing to fear is fear itself. It is the unknown we fear. When we look upon death and darkness, nothing more. There is no hunting like the hunting of man. And those who have hunted armed men long enough and liked it never care for anything else thereafter. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. Beware, for I am fearless, and therefore powerful. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. The dark is generous, and it is patient, and it always wins. But in the heart of its strength lies its weakness. One lone candle is enough to hold it back. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. When you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. What is it you fear? We all go a little mad sometimes. The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." Sometimes the things in our heads are far worse than anything they could put in books or on film. The more I see, the less I know for sure. He who fights with monsters should be careful lest he thereby become a monster. I have seen the dark universe yawning, where the black planets roll without aim, where they roll in their horror and heated, without knowledge or lustre or name. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. We make up horrors to help us cope with the real ones. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. There are horrors beyond life's edge that we do not suspect. And once in a while man's evil prying calls them just within our range. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. The devil is real, and he's not a little red man with horns and a tail. He can be beautiful because he's a fallen angel, and he used to be God's favorite. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where the one ends and where the other begins? The world outside had its own rules, and those rules were not human. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. The world is indeed comic, but the joke is on mankind. Don't be afraid of the shadows. That only means there's a light nearby. When you're scared but you still do it anyway, that's brave. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Nothing in the dark is as it seems. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The only real prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear. There is no escape. We pay for the violence of our ancestors. What if I told you insane was working 50 hours a week in some office for 50 years, at the end of which they tell you to piss off, ending up in some retirement village hoping to die before suffering the indignity of trying to make it to the toilet on time? Wouldn't you consider that to be insane? When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. It is a mistake to fancy that horror is associated inextricably with darkness, silence, and solitude. Every man has his secret sorrows, which the world knows not, and oftentimes we call a man cold when he is only sad. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. We are all fools in love. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I am not afraid of tomorrow, for I have seen yesterday, and I love today. You are not being buried by your circumstances. You are being planted. A mind troubled by doubt cannot focus on the course to victory. All we have to fear is fear itself. The devil is in the details.